Wheeler Digital is a full-service digital agency. A lot of you we met and talked to at the Credit Union Conference last week in Richmond. That was wonderful, and we thank you so much for taking the time to attend this webinar, now featuring sound. But I know that some of you are credit unions that were not able to be at the conference, but are still joining us as well. Welcome. Wheeler Digital is, in short, a full-service digital agency. We are based out of Roanoke, but we are fortunate enough to be able to work with credit unions not just all over the state, but out of state as well, all over the country. Not just credit unions either. We are not specific to credit unions. We help a lot of clients in a lot of industries in the digital space. But we today are going to very specifically talk about credit unions. What you're seeing on the screen now is our wheel of products, and if there's something in the digital space, we do it. But we are not going to take you through all the different products today. In respect to your time, really what we want to do is focus on the 3 or 4 strategies that we have seen in every market to be the most effective approach for credit unions. We also want to review and talk with you a bit about some really cool tools that you can use in Facebook analytics to make sure that you are maximizing your social engagement. So we're gonna review that as well. To jump right in, this is probably not a new message or news for any of you, but it's always good to repeat the mantra. It seems like in credit unions in particular, sometimes there are boards that are stuck in their ways and know that traditional media and print and direct mail have always worked for them, and that's wonderful. But really important to note that digital has changed advertising for every single industry. Credit unions are no exception. In fact, they're even more so. This article from the Credit Union Times says that because of the importance of reaching millennials and of just people shifting their desire to want to do all of their banking and financial transactions online, they actually recommend that credit unions carve out about 1/3 of their total marketing budget to go into the digital space. So to really jump right into the first method or technology we want to talk about, it's going to be something called native ads. And a native ad, basically in short, is an ad that does not look like an ad. It looks like an article on whatever website the ad is being shown on. So basically, I know that for some of you that were at the conference and who played our Wine Vault game, we had a question sort of around this. Last year in 2018, eMarketer reported that native ads actually captured over 60% of the total digital ad dollars that previously had been spent on display. So native is very much on the rise, and it's going to continue to dominate. Why is that? Well, one, native ads get higher engagement than traditional display usually. The other thing is that because native ads don't look like traditional ads, they also aren't typically blocked by ad blocking software. Not to say that display ads aren't a good fit for plenty of credit unions, but just to talk about native in particular, here's an example on yahoo.com, actually, that you can see. So the Verizon ad that you see up at the top of the screen there, that is, of course, a traditional display ad, right? So it looks very much like an ad, and it's in a traditional ad space, whereas the one that we have outlined in red there is right down in the content. So as opposed to being in a separate space, native ads work on the theory that people have been online for over 20 years now, and they know where traditional ad spaces are, and they know where the content traditionally is, and their eyes are in that content space, and a native ad actually self-creates so that it will look like content on whatever website it happens to be on. And when I say whatever website it happens to be on, what Wheeler does, not just with native ads, but with really any product that we talk about, we try to flip the digital marketing conversation on its head. So traditionally, the way that you would buy digital ads and make sure that you're hitting the right customer is you would say, Okay, well, someone who is making financial decisions is going to Forbes.com. Someone who is looking to buy a car and probably therefore take out an auto loan is going to Cars.com. And so you would try to basically guess where your ideal consumer would be, and then basically call up that website, call up a sales rep and say, all right, we need to buy ads there on that space. What Wheeler does is we have access at any one time to a little over 80 million websites, apps, and games. And rather than trying to assume where your customer is, we work with you to target, to basically come up with targeting that is unique and customized to your services, to your membership requirement, to your geography, really every aspect of what makes your credit union unique. And then people who fit that targeting, whatever website they go to, as long as we have the ability to serve an ad to that person, then we serve that ad in real time on whatever website we have to, so that we cut down on waste and we make sure that we are hitting only the people that fit, your credit union membership profile and your goals. So, as far as what that targeting is, you say, okay, great. Well, what does that mean when you say we have targeting in place? That can mean a lot of different things. So the first one would actually be behavioral targeting, and so behavioral targeting is much like it sounds, getting a list of behaviors and interests online, and also just demographic information as well, and saying, all right, well, people who fall into those behaviors or demographics are people that I want to talk to. And there are thousands of different things that we can target. So if you are a credit union that is specific to government employees, we can target government employees, or to teachers, we can target teachers specifically. But there's a whole lot of neat things we can do, like targeting people that right now are actively looking to get a new credit card, people who are interested in investments and stocks and bonds. We can target people by their net worth or their home value or their credit score or really anything like that. And so that's where we just have a big slew of categories here on the screen, but those are all for illustrative purposes. We would love to talk with you about what would be the specific fit, of course, for your credit union. And so the next way that native ads can work is with keyword targeting. Keyword's an old concept, and I think a lot of people, when they hear keyword, start thinking about actually a different product, not native ads. When I say keyword, I want to make clear, we're not talking about Google AdWords here. So I'm sure you all know Google AdWords. Several of you have probably used it for your business. So Google AdWords, of course, are when someone does a Google search containing keywords that are relevant to your credit union, then you can, of course, have Google serve a sponsored ad, if you will, a paid search listing at the top of a Google search. Now, we offer Google AdWords because, like I said, we're a full-service digital agency. We offer pretty much everything. But it's important to point out that with Google AdWords, and this is by Google's own admission, only about 10% of people who make a Google search are willing to click on AdWords. So not to say that it can't be a good strategy for some businesses, but we're all about getting in front of the other 90% of people that are exploring the organic listings when they do a search. And so what we do is when someone does a Google search or a Bing search or that one dude who still uses Ask Jeeves, what we do is rather than competing for that space on Google AdWords, we serve your ad to that person once they have clicked through to a website, once they're actually on a website that features your keywords. And it's also important to note that we're not putting everything in the search basket. So a lot of people, when they're talking about keyword targeting, especially in regards to Google AdWords, call it search targeting. The reason why we're sure to call ours keyword targeting is it's not totally dependent on a search. If someone is in your geography and they, totally independent of a Google search, go to a website, go to money.com, go to Forbes, and they are reading an article or watching a video, reading a blog that contains your keywords, then that native ad would show up to that person on that website, and would basically continue to stay in front of that person on the various websites that they are browsing when they're in that process. And so then the next way that native ads work, and this is pretty neat. We had a couple points about this too while we were at the conference from those of you that won some wine. Artificial intelligence. There was even a breakout session at the conference all about AI, because AI is the big hot thing this year. This is our newest product, and it is performing incredibly. And what artificial intelligence is basically machine-learned targeting. So when we were going back to the keywords and the behaviors that we can target with, those are based on an assumption. Now, that's a good assumption, because you may say to me, okay, well, if someone is a teacher, then they can join my credit union, or if someone is looking for an auto loan, then that is a person who is in a behavior that I know I want to hit with an auto loan message for my credit union. But usually I like to have artificial intelligence be part of that multi-pronged native campaign, because AI doesn't take the assumption into account of who your audience is. Basically, what it does is we get your geography, we get your membership area, and that geography can be anything. We can really customize it so that it fits for you. And we start showing your ad to people basically with no targeting, which sounds like a bad idea, sounds like a waste of money. But what happens very, very quickly in an artificial intelligence campaign is that every second the machine learning takes over, and as people start to engage with the ad, start to click the ad, actually start to go further and hit conversion points on your website, then the machine basically starts to learn and starts to say, great, these are the types of people that are actually engaging successfully with your content, and then it begins to funnel down and basically create the audience based on what it sees is working, which is really, really cool. It's complicated. I'm sure you probably have some questions about it, and we're happy to talk further and make sure that it all makes sense. That's pretty neat. We can also do, with native ads, email list targeting. So this can be any list, actually. This could be a list of people that, for example, maybe have one auto loan through your credit union, but then the rest of their accounts are still back at BB&T, right? And you want to let them know that actually you'd be a better financial partner to take all of their stuff under one roof. Well, we can get a list of all of those people who have that one loan, and we can basically match that email address to that person's online identity and only serve ads to those people. It's kind of similar to direct mail, but it's just done in a digital way. So instead of getting a list of addresses and developing, printing, and mailing a piece of paper to them, you're starting to deliver native ads to those people, which is really, really cool, and it's very, very cost effective, actually. And then we can also do what's called a lookalike audience. So basically that means we can get your email list, and that could be a list of your members. You could just say, look, here's a big list of our members, and they've been wonderful, and we just wish we could find more people like them. A lookalike audience uses all of the data that we get from your email list to basically find in your geographic area the top 1% of people that are most similar to your current email list. So if an email list is a way to hit people that you already know about and you want to engage with them in a way that isn't reliant on direct mail or MailChimp, any kind of e-blast software, a lookalike audience is a way to find new people based off of that qualified list, which is kind of cool. And just to summarize again with native, people spend on average about 25% more time with a native ad over traditional. So that's the reason that it is becoming par for the course. The next product we wanted to talk about is mobile conquesting. So what mobile conquesting is, I know that a lot of you that I talked with at the conference said that you have either done some geofencing or are doing some geofencing, or at least are very much aware of what geofencing is. Mobile conquesting is very close to geofencing, and it involves it, but it's a little bit different. So a lot of digital vendors offer some form of geofencing. We're going to very quickly explain how our mobile conquesting works and how it's different and really, really effective. So the first way that mobile conquesting works is by looking at people's online behaviors, much like the native behavioral targeting, right? So we get demographic information, and then we get behaviors that people are exhibiting online, like going to cars.com to say, great, that person is in a car shopping behavior right now. And then showing the ads on that person's mobile device. And then the second way it works actually is all offline because, as you know, people are glued to their mobile devices. They use it constantly. And so a lot of the targeting is actually based on where people are going, what type of businesses they're going to. Are there specific brand name stores? Are there locations that a person frequents? And so, you know, that can be a way to really develop some neat targeting. So, yeah, certainly, again, thousands of different options, and we've just picked a few of them here. But, you know, we can target people based on they recently went to a motorcycle dealer or an RV dealership. We can target people that are Hispanic. We can target people that are frequent bank customers. We can target people based off of maybe they're talking to a financial advisor right now about retirement plans, that sort of thing. We can talk to small to medium-sized business owners. There's a lot of different options out there. And so that's really the first way that mobile works, is we draw a wide radius or a wide geography that covers your service area, and then we put those online and offline behaviors on top of that to make sure that we're only hitting the right people. And that's the first way it works. The second way it works is traditional geofencing. So this is where you say, all right, most of our auto loans are coming from these 5 car lots. So we want to be sure that if a mobile device goes into that car lot, and then they, of course, get onto a website or app where, you know, we can serve an ad to them, then I want that person to get that ad. Or if someone goes into a competing credit union or a competing bank, then, you know, you can make sure that someone saw that ad. A lot of credit unions that we're working with right now are using this to great effect with BB&T and SunTrust. With the upcoming merger, there is a lot of questions and there is a lot of pain and frustration over this big corporate merger is happening. Things are being moved around. I sure wish I knew how this affected me. Well, if someone goes to a BB&T or a SunTrust, they can start to get your ad saying, we're locally owned, we're locally located, and we are not going anywhere. And we can, you know, be your new financial partner. You can kind of take advantage of that, if you will. And then what's neat about that is we can layer on top of that what's called geo-retargeting. So geo-retargeting just means that once someone has gone inside a geofence, with traditional geofencing, if somebody left that fence, then you've lost them, basically. You can serve the ad to that person if they're on their phone while they're in the fence, but after that, party's over. Well, not the case anymore. Once we recognize that device, even if the person is probably like busy doing something else while they were inside a specific store or while they were on an auto lot, after they've left, really for the next 30 to 60 days, we can continue to serve your ads to that person regardless of where they go because they were inside that fence. And then the next thing we can do, this is really, really neat as far as discovering an audience, is when we start geo-retargeting someone because they went to an auto lot and they bought a new car, well, not only are you now serving an ad to that person saying, hey, maybe we can get you a better deal than what the dealer referred you to, you can actually now follow that person home, which I know sounds creepy, we don't mean literally, and then we can draw a new radius around that person's neighborhood and start to serve ads to their neighbors. So not only do they see that, hey, Fred just came home with a new Jeep, I think I need one, well, they'll start to get the ad as well. That's pretty neat. One thing that's pretty unique about mobile conquesting that we like a lot is that, and that credit unions seem to really love, is with all of our digital products, we try to make sure that there is no disconnect as far as the metrics and numbers that we're measuring and actually proving real results and ROI for your credit union. And the way that mobile conquesting can do that that's pretty neat is we can actually digitally blueprint your branches or branch, and then we can tell you, after someone sees our ad, how many of those people then walked into one of your branches, which is pretty nifty. Just so you know, usually the way that we do that is we want to make sure that it's very, very accurate. A lot of companies that offer this technology, frankly, it's not accurate. There's a lot of inflation. we like to make sure that not only, of course, has someone seen our ad, but they actually have to have location services enabled when they go into the branch. They have to actually get onto a website or web-enabled app while they're in the branch. And then we actually have a third-party data provider that has to independently verify that that person was there. So we really do everything we can to stand by that number and to make sure that we are giving you reliable and good information so that when you go to your board and say, hey, I spent all of our marketing money, here's how I know that it's working. So, pretty cool. These are traditional display ads. They would show up on mobile devices and tablets, not on laptops, desktops in this case, but over 90% of online activity is on mobile devices now, so that's really not an issue. You can also have full screen ad sizes, which are really cool and eye-catching when those are appropriate for your brand. We can have these ads dynamically update. So again, mobile conquesting is all about being able to track someone's location. If someone doesn't know maybe that your credit union is right down the street from the auto dealership they're at, when they're served that ad, it can actually say, hey, did you know you were 500 feet away from us? Come talk to us about an auto loan. So that's what dynamic updating means. Pretty cool. We can also, if you have a 15 or 30 second, maybe a commercial that you've used on TV, well, we can take that and actually include that as a pre-roll on a mobile conquesting campaign as well. And so then those are really the first two products, native and mobile conquesting. And then I'm going to have my much smarter colleague, Freddie, take over now for the Facebook and Instagram portion of it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. As Cameron shared, everything that we do here at Wheeler Digital is very custom to you all. We do not believe that there is a potential credit union member, not a single potential credit union member profile. There is not a single potential auto loan seeker or home buyer. Everything is custom built for you, and what works for your credit union doesn't work for another. So everything is very custom built, and that continues into this product, of course, social media. We've talked with some of you about social media and how you're using it for your credit union currently. This kind of takes, and it gives you a peek behind the curtain at one of the tools that we use to customize campaigns and build something specific for your credit union. So let's go ahead and hop right in. You can see here, we'll talk about some things including Facebook and Instagram, also Facebook Audience Network, the world's largest mobile network. We'll talk about Facebook Marketplace, we'll talk about Facebook Messenger, and we'll get into some other stuff. But first, I want to tell you exactly what you can do right now. It's a tool that we use to customize. First, everybody knows that you can post to Facebook or Instagram. It's free, so obviously you want to do it, but you don't want to spend a lot of time on posting. A lot of you that we talk to at the credit union conference say this is your digital marketing tactic that you put a lot of time and effort into. It's not really worth a lot of time and effort. And why is that? Well, that's because Facebook has said that only 2% of your fans will see one of your posts on their Facebook page. So if you have 1,500 followers on your Facebook page, only 2% of those will see a Facebook post. And actually, Facebook is saying increasingly that it's going to become a pay-to-play game. So that being said, we have to be very strategic in what we're doing on Facebook and social media. So when you are making posts on Facebook, what exactly should you post? Well, the first thing you want to do is create awareness. So you can answer questions like, who are you? What is your mission, your attitude, customer service? You want to communicate expertise, why your credit union is different, what sets you apart. You, of course, want to continue to engage with customers, continue that conversation. A great way to do so is to do Facebook Live or do a video series, or even maybe do a how-to video. And, of course, support your followers. Interact with customer comments. Don't just let people post and let those posts go unanswered. If there's a positive review, give them feedback. If there's a negative, you want to respond to that in the public eye as well. Be positive and helpful and listen to those critiques and also know when to take it into a private message and set things right with someone if they have a negative response to your credit union privately, but let it be known that you've taken care of that in a public fashion as well. So this was a question that we actually had on the credit union quiz that we had there at our vault where we were giving away wine. How often and when should you socialize? Well, that depends. So if your credit union has less than 10,000 followers, to post once a day or less is best practice. Once you exceed one post, each post gets 60% fewer clicks per post. If you have more than 10,000 followers, posting 1 to 2 times a day leads to the most clicks. So good rules to follow there. 32% more engagement happens on Saturday and Sunday. Nationally, 18% more engagement happens on posts that come Thursday and Friday. How about best hours? Best hours would be 9 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, you'll get the most clicks when you post at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the most shares when you post at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But as we've said, everything that we do is very customized to your credit union, to your business. So that national average doesn't really apply to you. So you need to check what's called Facebook Insights. So we've all heard of Google Analytics. Hopefully you all have that installed on your website and you're tracking website visits and what people are doing once they come to your credit union website. Did you know that there is also basically a Google Analytics for Facebook? It's called Facebook Insights. With Facebook Insights, it allows you to dive in and see exactly what people are doing when they come to your Facebook page. So to get there, first you want to go to your Facebook and you log in and you go to navigate to your credit union Facebook page. In the upper right-hand corner, you want to click the Insights button. You can see there we've highlighted that in red. Once you click Insights, this screen then pops up. Looks a little confusing at first. We're going to break it down and make it easy. In that left-hand gray column, the first thing we'll click is the Overview button. That's the Overview button found inside of Facebook Insights. Facebook Insights generally defaults to the last 7 days. Of course, as you can imagine, that doesn't give you a very good wide range of information. So my recommendation is to go ahead and change that to the last 28 days. That gives you 28 days of data. So once you do that, there at the top you can see page views. You can see exactly how many people have came to your page and made a page view in the last 28 days. And you can also see at quick glance the number of post engagements in the last 28 days. But let's break that down a bit further. If you click the Reach button in that left-hand gray column, now you can see in a line graph format exactly how many reactions you had, how many comments, shares, and that shows you day by day. So we can see here on February 4th, there were a ton of reactions on a post. So if I were this credit union, I would scroll back and look at February 4th to see exactly what happened that day, because that is something I would want to replicate and continue to do things like that in my posts. Here on the left-hand side, if you click Page Views in that left-hand gray column, you can actually click and see where the top sources for traffic on your Facebook page are coming from. So you can see here Facebook and Google being top traffic sources. Left-hand gray column, you can go a little bit further down and actually click on Actions on Page. So here you can see what people are doing from your Facebook page, whether they're clicking to get directions to your credit union, if they're clicking to visit your website, if they're clicking your phone number to actually call you, or if you have a Learn More button or something like that on your Facebook page, you can see how many people click that as well. My favorite part of Facebook Insights, in that left-hand gray column, if you click on Post, what appears is actually right here on your screen. It shows you when your fans are online. So it shows you interaction by day of the week. You can see here in this example on the screen, pretty even interaction and usage throughout every day of the week, Sunday through Saturday. In this example, the best time for them to post for this business is Tuesday to Friday, 9 in the morning to 9 at night. That's when their peak is. So any post that they make between 9 in the morning and 9 at night, Tuesday to Friday, as you can see here on this graph, would be beneficial for them. But it breaks it down a little bit further down below. It shows us all of the posts that have recently been published. It shows us exactly how many have been what the reach has been on those and the total engagement. So this is a great way for us to go back in and see at a glance what has worked on Facebook. And again, this is something that you all can pull right now on Facebook Insights. Also, we find that photos, of course, photos and videos get the highest engagement on Facebook. And you can see that here in the example screenshot that we've pulled. Photos get much higher engagement than just general text, and links to the credit union website or the business website get higher engagement as well. Another thing that you can do with Facebook Insights, we told you in the invitation and when we were talking with you at the credit union conference that we were going to tell you a little bit about how you could spy on your competitors and see what they're doing. So in that left-hand gray column, if you click the Post button, what appears is a screen that says Top Posts from Pages You Watch. And when you first log in here, what you can do is select 5 competitor pages that you actually want to watch what they're doing on Facebook. And when you select those, the competitors are not notified that you're doing this. It's totally private. They have no way of knowing that you're doing it. But it is a one-stop place for you to go and see exactly what your competitors are doing. So you can see here, we've selected a competitor for this business. And the screenshot here, you can see the 5 most recent posts that that competing business has posted, and it shows us a quick glance exactly how they performed. So here we could see the engagement, what it looked like, and what they did in that post. And then if that's something that is a service that we offer, we may want to look at including that in our next Facebook post. All right, the next button that we wanted to talk about in that left-hand gray column is the People button. This is a huge tool that we use here at Wheeler Digital when it comes to customizing campaigns. We look at this on Facebook Insights. We look at your Google Analytics. We talk to you, of course, and the marketing team about who your target customer is. But here, if you click that left-hand People button in that gray column, you want to click on Your Fans at the top. And then what it shows you is demographics. It shows you exactly the number of people who are interacting on your page, male, female, and then their ages. So we can see in this example, it's 83% women, with the highest age range being 45 to 54. Also, that lower half of the screen, it shows us exactly where interaction is coming from based on geography. So in this example, Lynchburg, Roanoke, and Danville in Virginia are the highest populations of where that interaction is coming from. All right, so now we've told you a few things and given you a peek behind the curtain of Facebook Insights and the tools that we use to customize campaigns. You can go ahead and start playing with that now. We encourage you to. But taking Facebook a step further, we shared that Facebook has said the day is going to come, and that day is coming pretty quick, when you have to pay to play on Facebook. Only 2% of your Facebook posts are being seen by your Facebook followers. So now's the time to start thinking about Facebook marketing and Facebook advertising. So with that being said, I know all of you who use Facebook have seen these, but wanted to share with you a little bit about how they work. So at Wheeler Digital, we buy what's called it's on the Facebook Premium platform. So that includes newsfeed ads, Messenger, Audience Network, Instant Articles, Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook Stories. That also includes Instagram. I'll talk a little bit about those a little bit more in depth here in a minute, but first I wanted to show you what we're doing is we're buying ads right within the newsfeed. We're not buying those right rail ads. We have found that those don't get much interaction, of course, because most Facebook usage comes on a mobile device, and that right-hand column is not visible on mobile. Facebook Messenger, I know we've all seen these. This is actually, one of the largest mobile messaging apps that exists. So some people actually have Facebook Messenger and use it versus using Facebook social media. So we are buying ads within that to reach the population that doesn't have the Facebook app itself. We're using Facebook Audience Network, and what this allows us to do, it's basically a network that Facebook has created that allows us to use Facebook targeting and everything that Facebook knows about your next credit union member to continue to target them after they have left Facebook. So most of us log into Facebook on our phones. We never log out. It remains open in the background. So everything that we have told Facebook about ourselves, our likes, our dislikes, places that we've been recently, our friends, our family, we are able to continue to target that next credit union member once they've left Facebook because they still remain logged in. So as they go to ESPN or CNN, weather.com, wherever they go, whatever websites or mobile apps they're going to, we can continue to show them ads based on the knowledge and information we have on them from Facebook. We can also buy ads within Facebook Marketplace. What we've seen a lot of success here with is auto loans. So as people are scrolling through Facebook Marketplace and looking for cars, we can target them and say, we have a great auto loan rate, come in and check us out at the credit union. 1 in 3 people are actually using Facebook Marketplace in the US, so it's a great place to advertise. Everything that we just talked about on Facebook, we can also do on Instagram newsfeed and stories. Of course, Instagram reaches a little bit of a younger audience, so that's a great place to reach those who haven't, maybe haven't established a banking relationship yet. As far as the types of ads that we can run on those platforms that we just spoke about, we can do the single image ads, we can do carousel ads, collection ads, All sorts of things that we can do. We could also do branded content ads where you tie your credit union to a local influencer. So much we can do there. As far as targeting examples, some of these look like exactly what we talked about with mobile conquesting, but we can drill down and target people who are in the market for a credit card or debit card, those first-time home buyers. We can target people who have recently moved, who are looking to move, currently renting. So many things that we can do in addition to just geography, income, gender, those types of things. All right, so that wraps up the social portion. The next product that we wanted to highlight real quick is a product that we actually partner with the patent holder on. So this technology is pretty cool. What it allows us to do is take a list of physical addresses that you have, and we match that list of physical addresses to household IP addresses. So the physical addresses you would give to us, any list of household street addresses and names, we actually match those to the household's internet connection, or also called that IP address, and then we're only showing ads to those households. So you may give us, a credit union member list, and we could directly target those members only, maybe for an upcoming event that you're having, an appreciation event, and then their neighbors would never see the ad because they're not on the list that you've given to us. So as far as who you can target, of course, you can give us any data list that you have. Also, any data list that you want to purchase that's available out there. So we could buy a list of car loan seekers or home refinance responders, home to loan value, home loans by type. So many things that we can do. You could even target college campuses to reach students who haven't, again, established that banking relationship. So in this case, we can just drill down and target that college campus and every student that's living in a dorm on that college campus. This is the product that compares, in our minds, to direct mail. A lot of credit unions and financial institutions continue to use direct mail, but the problem with that direct mail is, of course, it's poor frequency. You have a one-time shot with direct mail. It's expensive to create, hard to track, and it's easy to miss. But with this household IP product, where we drill down and tap into the IP address of the home, instead of reaching them one time with direct mail, you're going to be able to reach them 25 to 50 times a month with this IP targeting software. With IP targeting, we can also provide what's called a return on investment or a matchback report. So at the beginning of the month, you give us the list of addresses that you want us to target, and we match those up with the IP targeting software. Then you can provide us a list of new members each month. We kind of do reverse match and say, yes, that person was one of those that we were able to serve an ad to, and you can see exactly how many new members came from your IP targeted ads. So pretty cool software. All right, I'm going to give it back to Cameron now to talk about video.
All right, gang. Well, part of what we also talked about at the conference was the importance of video and how video engagement is where everything is moving online. And so we're going to just give a brief overview of, one, why that's so important for you and how video needs to be a part of your credit union's marketing efforts digitally. And then just basically the different ways that we can help you do that. So, one, know that according to the Interactive Advertising Bureau, advertisers, and this is not specific to credit unions actually, but just really anyone in the digital space is hoping to increase their video budget 25% over last year. And that's because of the preferred engagement that people get through video. There's a lot of different ways that we can help you do video, and a lot of the things that we have actually already talked about, like mobile conquesting and Facebook and all the different ways that like native targets, keyword and behavioral and all that, and artificial intelligence, those can all feature video. And in most cases, we're actually going to include in our reporting, with the exceptions being Facebook and mobile conquesting, not just how many people we served that video to, but actually a breakdown of how much of your video someone watched, 25, 50, 75, or 100% of the video, so that you kind of know, frankly, how engaging it is. If you see a huge plummet at that first 25% mark, that might be a sign that you need a new video. So one thing that is new and specific to video is what is called OTT, or over the top. And what that basically means is it's getting your video and serving it on devices, including TVs, but going into streaming devices specifically. So everybody's talking about cord cutting, or if you're not cord cutting, then you at least have a connected streaming device, be it an Amazon Fire Stick or a Chromecast stick or an Apple TV or a Xbox or a Roku, whatever the case may be. And so what we're doing is we're getting your video ad and serving it on thousands of different apps that you can stream content through on those devices. So getting onto the ESPN app or the CBS All Access app or the AMC and CNN and so on and so forth. Obviously, that doesn't include something like Netflix, because Netflix specifically does not have any ads. But there'd be tons of other ways, like Sling TV and so on, where we would be able to serve your video ad in that digital streaming space. Is that an important place to be, like as opposed to TV? Yeah, it absolutely is. 72% of OTT users can recall seeing specific OTT ads in studies that were done. 66% of OTT users have learned about a new product or company from an ad they saw on a streaming platform. 40% of OTT users have seen the ad, paused their content, and then gone online to purchase or learn more. So it is very, very effective. And then, of course, this is a big stat as far as, well, okay, but are my potential members using OTT? Are they really doing streaming, or are they just doing traditional TV? Well, 52% of all U.S. adults over 18 use at least one streaming service. So, yes, this is a very important space for you to be. How does OTT target? Do we just sort of farm those out to anybody who's on there? No. It targets in two ways that we have already discussed, which is category targeting and, of course, artificial intelligence machine learning, right? So the categories that we can target are really cool. There are, again, just thousands of them, and we can target by how long someone's lived in that home. We can target by their home value. We can target by the interest rate of a mortgage holder. I mean, you name it, we can probably do it. So that's pretty cool. That's OTT. And so this is not specific to video. This is actually sort of in closing everything that is included in our monthly reporting, because there are so many digital providers out there. Really what we hang our hat on and what we really try to make sure that we stand out above the pack with is our monthly reporting. We will go over these with you every month, and we are totally transparent and exhaustive and thorough in our reporting so that you know exactly what we did with your dollars and how it's working for you, right? So in those reports, we're going to, of course, include impressions. So how many ads were served. Nothing special about that. Every digital provider offers that. Same with click-through rate. So click-through rate is the percentage of people that saw the ad and therefore after that clicked on it. We're also going to measure what's called view-throughs. So a view-through, this is pretty cool. A view-through is anybody who sees your ad, doesn't click on the ad, but after seeing it ends up going through and hitting a conversion point on your website, right? So that happens a lot. People are in the middle of looking up what they were going to look up. They're watching their cat videos. They're not to be disturbed. But they saw your ad, and your ad was impactful. And maybe it was an hour later, or maybe it was a week later. They ended up going to the site and hitting a conversion point. So we're going to track that with what's called a view-through. Creative. With any of our products, creative is actually included in the cost of the campaign. And being a full-service agency, we offer creative services for you. And although we have lots of credit unions who maybe like to do the creative themselves, no problem. Either way. If you have multiple creatives running, or if we have creatives that maybe we're switching out a lot, especially as we move into fourth quarter, we have a lot of credit unions that say, all right, well, we want, some Christmas shopping ads, whatever the case may be. We're going to break down all of your creatives and how they were performing, so that way you can really use that to influence all of your marketing efforts, so that when you see which messages really resonate and get good interaction, then you can use that, in your TV ads, whatever the case may be. And of course, I've dropped the word conversion a few times. A conversion is basically saying, let's not put all of our eggs into the click basket. So someone clicked on your ad, they went through to the site, that's awesome, hooray, very, very good. But did they do what we wanted them to do? Did they take out a loan? Did they hit the click to call button on your site to talk to somebody? Did they go through to the services page to really see everything you have to offer. We work with you just like every other element of our digital. We customize it. We find out what are the important success points that you want to measure, you know, how our campaign's performing, and we have the ability to basically drop pixels on those places and tell you from our ads how many people ultimately did that thing. And actually a lot more. After that, things start to get product specific, but we include really everything you would want to know in monthly reporting, and really pride ourselves again on making sure that you know what you're getting. So many people that are buying digital don't understand, frankly, what it is that they're buying, and that's a disservice to them that we want to correct by being your digital partner. So basically, in closing, this is the part where we talk about how great we are, but you know, we've basically touched on all this. We really do. We want to customize a campaign to make sure that it is the perfect fit for your credit union, going after the people that are important to you, and hitting them in the most effective ways possible. So this has been a little bit lengthy. We're clocking in at 1 minute over an hour, so I thought we were going to be a little less reliable than that, but we're only 1 minute off. I know that you all are busy. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through this all today. I hope it was helpful. If you have more questions, if there's something you were hoping to see here that you didn't see, again, we just want to reach out to you and have a conversation that is specific to what your credit union is going through and what your goals and opportunities are and how we can help. So please reach out to us. And thank you again for your time.